Welcome to the Santa Barbara CALSOAP Virtual College Fair. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Before we get started with our presentations, just a few quick housekeeping items to go over. The first is that attendees are welcome and certainly encouraged to ask questions to any of our panelists at any time utilizing the Q&A feature. You can pose your question to a specific panelist, or you can ask a general question to any and all the panelists. Also, just a reminder that your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists will not be able to see or hear you. And there are 2 other blocks of sessions this evening, so if you haven't signed up for those yet, please do feel free to do so. And about 1 week from today, a recording of this session will be available on that same registration website. But at this point, I'd like to go ahead and turn it over to our first panelist. And up first, we're going to hear from the University of East London.
Hi guys, thanks for taking the time to come see us tonight. Hang on a sec, let's get the presentation up. Right guys, like I said, thank you for coming out to see us tonight. My name's Tom, I'm part of the Americas recruitment team for the University of East London. As you can see, it's very early here, it's about 1 AM here in the UK, but we're going to do our best we can tonight. We're going to go straight into the presentation. So guys, I'm sure you've all heard of London, so that's where we're based. Great little quote there, so when a man is tired of London, he's tired of life. I think that's really true. So I've lived here for about 6 years in London. I'm actually from the north of England, so from Yorkshire, so I've got quite a regional accent. It's quite strong. But I love London. There's so much to do here. There's so much for everyone to do. It's such an inclusive city. It's a very multicultural city. Which feeds through into the food and the events. Like the food in London is incredible. I love curries. Like there's incredible food here for curries, Indian food, Chinese, everything you'd ever want. Things to do, there's theatre. If you love sports, there's amazing sports things to go see. Premier League football, tennis, obviously with Wimbledon, incredible museums, art, the best in the world. And the big museums as well are free, so it's great things to do at the weekend which are free. Get around Europe really easily. You can get the London Heathrow Airport really easily, get yourself into Europe, cheap flights, go to Portugal, go to Spain, get around the country, go to Stonehenge, go to Oxford, get down to the seaside, all sorts to do. So it's an incredible city, and that's where we're based. So this is our campus, so we're the University of East London, so we're based in East London. That's a shot of the campus there. We have 3 campuses. That's the main campus, the Docklands campus. If you can see in the middle there, the little ring which the road goes around, that is our on-site tube station. So we have a tube station on campus, so you guys might call it the subway, but we're really looking to have a tube station, a subway on campus. And again, that links us all the way up into central London, links all of London up together. We can get to the airport from there, get up to the National Railway train stations if you want to get around the UK again. We've got the river there on the top right, so that's the River Thames. You might have heard of that. That's a famous river that goes all the way through central London. Right next to that, there's some colourful round buildings that are kind of tallish. That's our accommodation. Again, we're really looking to have that on campus, have our own on-campus accommodation. And again, you can see some of the other buildings and facilities around there. It's quite a residential setting. We've got trees, we've got houses nearby, but it's a really nice campus. And like you said, it's so easy there. You've got your accommodation, got your buildings for your lectures, got your tube station, easy to get around, easy to connect. A little bit about the history of the university. So it started out as a polytechnic. That means it used to teach sort of like hands-on skills, like joinery and things like that. But in 1992, we evolved into a modern university. So we've got like modern facilities and a modern campus. We've got 17,000 students as part of our population. That includes distance learners as well. And we've got 20% of our student population is international students. So again, like London itself, it's a very diverse campus, which is really cool. And we offer a wide range of subjects. So we've got 6 schools, or colleges, you might call it in the US. So we've got School of Architecture, Computing and Engineering, School of Art and Creative Industries, and School of Business, School of Education, School of Health, Sport and Biosciences, and School of Psychology. Business management, biomedical sciences, and psychology are 3 biggest subjects. So if you're looking to apply for those guys, make sure you get them applications in early. We've got some of the courses listed there, but if you go to our website in the bottom right hand corner, uel.ac.uk, you can check out all those courses and loads of great information on there. But like I say, you can always contact me. My contact information up at the end if you've got any questions or you want to know any more about that. So why University of East London versus studying in the US? For starters, so the application is free. If you apply via our website or via the Common App, it's free, versus in the US, where it's about $45, $50. Applications are rolling, so the applications are constantly open. It's not like in the US where they close. You should receive a decision in about 2 to 4 weeks. If you were looking to apply for fall 2021, the deadline would be the end of July. If you applied after that, again, applications are still open, but you'd be considered for the next entry period, which would be fall 2022. Duration 3 years versus 4 years. That's saving you a year of time and money. Tuition 19,000 in the UK versus 27 to 43,000 in the US, plus free textbooks. So you can see there 57 versus 108 to 172 all in. So that's why more and more US students are coming to study with us. Entry requirements, so it's a 3.0 GPA and one of the following, just one. 1070 SAT, 23 ACT, or 3 AP scores of 3 or above. There is slight change with that, so like one's a little bit higher, one's a little bit low. There's a little bit of variation as well, so if there's a little bit different on your scores, it's definitely worth applying. Just a look at our accommodation here. So on the left is ours and the right is a classic US style one. So in the UK, it's private rooms, private bathroom, private shower. That's all the rooms, even the cheapest rooms. And you would also get a shared kitchen between 3 to 5 students on your in your flat. That's great because it just gives you a little bit more autonomy about what you want to cook and when you want to cook it. It just gives you a little bit of freedom having the private room compared to in the US. We think that's a bit weird here. Like when I went to university, everyone gets private rooms in the UK. And again, it's a little bit cheaper than the US, $8,000 versus the $9,000 in the US. Just a little bit of info about us guys, just a little bit of cool fact. Back in 2012, the Olympics, we had the US basketball team come train with us on campus. We could have trained all around London, but they chose to come train on our campus, which was really cool. Just shows how good our facilities are. So again, just showing you there, if you want to apply, we've got direct Common App over here, UCAS, which is like UK Common App. But yeah, guys, if you've got any questions, get in touch. That's our email, americas@uel.ac.uk. I'll put that in the chat. But yeah, cheers for listening and have a nice evening.
Thank you very much, East London. Before we move on to our next presenter, just a reminder for anybody who recently joined us, if you have any questions for any of our panelists at any time, please do feel free to utilize that Q&A feature. Also, our panelists may be sending out contact information and or links to you via the chat, so keep an eye on that as well. But up next, we're going to move to Macquarie University.
Hi guys, thank you so much. It is a pleasure to be with you. My name is Amy Celorio. I'm actually not Leanne Allen. I'm the regional director for Latin America. However, Leanne is currently traveling, so she wasn't able to come. Leanne is based out of Los Angeles, so she is of great help for all of you, and I'm based in Mexico City. So here's her contact. And well, I'm also a Macquarie alumni. I did my master in international relations and international communication, so I would love to tell you actually more about my experience. And well, Macquarie University is actually based in Sydney, Australia. So although Sydney is not the capital city in Australia, it is indeed the most iconic, the most worldwide known, and it's the finance and business district of the country. As you can see here, it's one of the most stunning cities in the world. This is one of my most amazing and breathtaking views. And well, you can actually get absolutely the best of both worlds. So a completely multicultural, international, and iconic city, but also all the beautiful scenic views of the beaches, the beautiful parks. And well, it's actually not that far from LA. So it's just one direct flight, 13 hours, you completely get there. And well, a little bit more of Sydney is one of the most livable cities in the world. It's continuously considered as one of the safest, the best student cities. And one fun fact is that actually, if you were to visit every single beach that Australia has to offer, as these are around 10,000, it would take you around 27 years to complete. So isn't this amazing for people like me, and I'm sure like you in California that love the warm weather. And the next is actually my favorite beach. This is Bondi. It's a completely known spot for surfing, for scuba diving. This is the Icebergs swimming pool, and it's, well, as you can see, you can take wonderful walks by the coast. So now jumping to our campus, the Macquarie campus, it's located in one of the fastest growing regions, business-wise and technology-wise, in all Australia. So it is the equivalent of the Silicon Valley of the country. And we are just approximately 13 kilometers away from the city center, because we are the only Australian university that has its own train station, which is absolutely driverless. It can take you around 30 minutes to get from the campus to the city. You can see we got our own hospital, our own sports and aquatic center. So it's a completely one stop for you where you can get absolutely everything. We got more than 45,000 students. From these, approximately 12,000 are international. So you will have a completely multicultural experience as the one I did in my international relations program. 20% approximately of all the students are international, as I said. So you will learn from all types of cultures, religions, languages, a little bit of everything. Now, what you can see here are some examples of the student experience. So the first is actually our Macquarie Mac Warrior. So it's our university mascot. Then you can see our Olympic swimming pool, one of two that we got on campus. Muse, the Macquarie University student experience, where you will have 24/7 complete academic support and also security. We got more than 130 student clubs, associations. So this goes from different sports, cultures, religions. So just to give you an idea, I was part of Los Latinos group. There's also, I'm sure, a North American students group. And well, you will get, even if you want to do like rugby or Quidditch, well, there's so many. You can see there our incubator and also a representation of our all week, orientation week, that you will have all types from workshops, academic activities, campus tours, and that's mainly the moment where you will meet your friends for lifetime. Our areas of specialization, we have 4 main faculties. Some of our key academic areas are accounting, finance, media and communications, engineering, environment, earth sciences, and one of our flagship programs, which is our combined degree Bachelor of Clinical Science with the Macquarie MD, Doctor of Medicine. So you can be a doctor in Australia or everywhere in the world. One difference is that in Australia, our bachelor degrees are just 3 years. And so you get completely in the heart of our program. We also have very flexible programs if you are interested to take, for example, arts, business, or other areas. We got so many different accommodation options. The ones that you can see here were just inaugurated in February this year. So you can also have your own bathroom, possibly, and your own room, similar to our previous presenter. And there are all types of budgets, services. So for example, in my case, I was in an Australian homestay, if you want to get a feeling of the Australian life. Our tuition costs are average $24,000 US per year. And our living costs around 15,000. So approximately in a year, you will be spending around 40,000 in everything, considering also your flights. So taking consideration, it's shorter than in the US. You can also get financial aid and different types of scholarships. The application is completely free, and well, it takes approximately 2 to 4 weeks to get your offer letter. So you just get all the support from Leanne, from me. So get your offer and apply for your visa, and we'll see you soon in Sydney.
Thank you very much, Macquarie. Up next, we're going to transition to ESCP Business School.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, my camera is not on. Now I am on screen. So you've traveled to London, Sydney. Let me bring you back to London now and to the rest of Europe. So my name is Sarah, and I'm the recruitment executive at ESCP Business School for the Bachelor in Management program. ESCP Business School is known to be the world's first business school. It was established in 1819, so a bit more than 200 years ago in Paris. But since then, the school has grown, and we have now 6 urban campuses across Europe, but we are still the same institution. So this is why we are a cross-border multi-campus institution. We are also nationally and internationally accredited. Some facts about the school: as I said, first business school in the world with a full portfolio from the Bachelor in Management program. So this is the undergraduate program I'm going to talk to you about today, but also Masters, MBA, PhDs, and executive education. Really goes all the way to being really senior and having this more senior education. And in fact, we train 5,000 managers and executives every year at ESCP. We have more than 140 academic partnerships with renowned institutions across the world. It's a relatively small institution if you consider some big universities in the US, for example. Across our 6 campuses, we have a bit more than 7,000 students, but it's really international because they represent 120 nationalities. It's not only international because we have multiple campuses and because our students come from everywhere in the world, but also our professors. So we have 160 research active professors on our different campuses, and they represent 30 nationalities. So really traveling around the world being at ESCP. And then one of the most interesting facts, I think, an important fact, is that we have 65,000 alumni, active alumni in more than 150 different countries in the world. So these are students who have graduated from different programs at ESCP, and they represent a great network for our current students. They get invited to job fairs, to career fairs, to give talks and conferences to which all students are welcome to join. And it's really your chance to start building your network and having, a footset into the business industry. So it's a really great asset for all of our students. So about this bachelor program specifically, it is a programs that you can do in 3 years. And what's unique about it is that you can go to 3 of our campuses. So you spend 3 years, each year in a different place in Europe. It has multiple disciplines, and it also allows you to experience the business world firsthand. So about your study track options at ESCP, as I mentioned before, we have 6 urban campuses. 5 of them are available for bachelor students. So in year 1, the options are to go to London or Paris. This is full English, so all the classes are taught in English. And we also have the option to go to Beijing with our partner university, Tsinghua University. And we ask for HSK 1 level of Chinese for that option. Then year 2, the options are to go to our Madrid campus, Paris campus, or Turin campus. If you want to keep doing all your classes in English, then you can go to Turin in Italy. But if you have some French or Spanish skills, then you can also pick the other options, so Madrid or Paris. And then the final year, the most popular campus is Berlin, with an option to take some classes in German. And we also have Paris as an option, but we require a high level of French for that one because it's a work and study year in Paris. So to be able to work in a French company, you need to have to be fluent in French. So really international, as I mentioned before, for the Bachelor in Management only, we counted 55 countries represented. So still a majority of students coming from many different places in Europe. So we are 100% international, but 70% coming from Europe still. But it's growing, and we have more and more students coming from other continents, other places in the world. So what you can do after graduating from the Bachelor in Management program, you have 2 big paths really. So one is to continue studying and to take a master's degree in a renowned institution. As I said before, we have partnerships with institutions around the globe. So this is also facilitating that, access to other masters. But at ESCP, we also have plenty of specialized masters. So the bachelor program is quite broad, and it really aims to give you all the skills you need to be able to work in any career in business that you want to. But if you really are interested in a specific career, then you might want to do a specialized master. It can be, for example, in communication, in creativity and marketing, in finances, in sustainability. So plenty of specialization possible for you. And this also means that your entry salary would be higher. So with the bachelor degree, we have counted that students have 35K as an entry salary, and with a master's, it's 42K a year. And then the other option is to start working straight away, because this program really prepares you to working, and 95% of our students usually get an employment offer by the time they graduate, and so that is pretty amazing. So here are some companies I wanted to show you where our graduate students are now working. I'm sure you can recognize some big ones like Bloomberg, Amazon, Bank of America, LVMH Group in the luxury industry. And here are some institutions where our students are doing a master's. So you have Columbia in the US, Cornell as well, and so on. Okay, well, I'm going to put my contact details in the chat, so don't hesitate to contact me if you have more questions about the program. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, ESCP. As we move on to our next presenter, just a reminder to our participants, please do feel free to send through any questions you have through the Q&A. But up next, as you can see, we have the University of Roehampton.
Thank you so much, Christopher. Thank you guys so much for coming as well. My name is Amanda Lundberg, and I'm an international officer for the University of Roehampton, located in London, England. So we're in London a lot tonight, which is fantastic. But again, I'm glad you could join us. So we're considered one of London's campus universities, which is unique amongst London's universities. We have a single campus. We're situated on a beautiful 54-acre parkland setting in Southwest London. And we've been providing education for 180 years. We also have been ranked as one of the top 10 London universities. And you can get a little peek here of some of our Regency architecture. So we have a very diverse student population with 9,000 students enrolled, of whom 28% are from outside of the UK and represent 146 nationalities. We have 7 academic departments across 4 colleges, which we'll look at a little bit later. And we are ranked 5th amongst London universities for student satisfaction. And of course, being in one of the world's cultural hubs, you'll have tons to see and visit, like my colleagues have already mentioned, which of course will only enrich your experience. So here you can see our proximity to central London. We're just down the River Thames from London's popular tourist attractions. We're very near Wimbledon, where the tennis happens every year, and across from one of London's 8 royal parks. Public transportation in London is fantastic, and you'll have a huge variety of buses and tubes and trams to get yourself around, as well as the overground trains, of course. But we also have a free university bus system that'll take you in and out of London and around our little corner of London. So as you can see, our campus is lush and green, but being in London, you also get the best of both worlds. You have the city plus the nature all in one place. Our uni is comprised of 4 historic colleges, similar to other collegiate systems, but as a better example, similar to Harry Potter, of course. Each of our colleges offer loads of great facilities and amenities, such as sports facilities, gyms, cafes, social spaces. They all have their own sort of community within the community at Roehampton. We are very much a research-led institution. We're known to be the number one modern university in London for quality of research, and also the most research-intensive modern university in the UK. And some of our research, some of our departments have 100% of their research that's known as world-class. So you can see here, our degrees are shorter than US degrees. You could have 2 in the time it takes you to get 1 bachelor's here. And these are our 7 academic departments that I spoke of earlier. You can choose either a single subject to study, or you can combine some of these subjects. And with no general education requirements, UK degrees are very much academically challenging, but also very, very rewarding. So applying is really simple. You can either use UCAS, which is similar to the Common App, or you can apply through our free online application. We have rolling admissions, which means there's no hard deadlines to apply, and you can apply to start in either September or in January. So our requirements do vary slightly from program to program, but it's pretty straightforward. We'll look at your GPA, any tests if you've taken them, though we are test optional. Some subjects will require a subject test or an AP, but we are reviewing these requirements. So I'd say email us if you have some questions around those. We do accept IB curriculum, and we also have transfer students that we accept going on to year 2 or year 3. In terms of overall costs, we're very affordable, especially considering that you're saving a year of tuition on your degree compared to US schools. So around $18,000 per year for tuition. All in is going to be around $35,000 per year with your living costs. And as you can see, we have numerous scholarships, and most of our US students do qualify for 1 or more of these scholarships. And you can apply for US federal loans through FAFSA. So housing is great, like my colleagues have kind of already alluded to. We guarantee housing for our US and our international students. And we offer specific rooms just for first year students as well. So you'll be with all the same year group as yourselves. Single rooms, single occupancy rooms with either your own ensuite bathroom or shared bathroom facilities, as well as the shared kitchen, which is great. So you can kind of have your independence while you're living with us on campus. We have plenty going on campus, as I'm sure you would probably expect, but you'll have a fantastic social experience no matter what you're into, whether it's sports or volunteering or societies, which is what we call our clubs. But it's worth mentioning here that our ethos at Roehampton is based on social justice and equality, with the focus of putting everyone on an equal playing field. So as a quick stat, 59% of our students are first in their families to go to university. And we're really proud to celebrate all of our students and staff, no matter your background, which is wonderful. So just a really quick slide here on our competitive sports. We have a lot to get involved in, of course, but we also have social clubs as well. So if you don't want to play competitively, but you might want to play for fun or for fitness, you can get involved in any of these really, and you don't need previous experience to join. And we also have a brand new study play program, which is where you would get to train with the Premier League Football Club Crystal Palace, as well as at the same time as getting your degree with us. So it's a great way to be able to play semi-professionally, as well as getting your degree, which could be in anything, although we do have many sports science programs that follow along with that study play program. And yeah, thank you so much for your time today, and feel free to scan any of these QR codes to learn more about us. I am based here in the US, so please do get in touch if you have any questions at all. But thanks again, and good luck with your college search.
Thank you very much, University of Roehampton, and thank you to all of our presenters this evening for your great overview. 6 minutes is not very long, so you did a great job. Before we do end the session, we have some time to answer a few questions here ourselves while we wait to see what additional questions our attendees have. So attendees, feel free to keep submitting those questions to the Q&A. If I could ask all of our panelists to turn your video cameras back on. And we'll start off with this question. As I said, 6 minutes is not very long. So what's one thing you did not have time to present on that you'd like to cover now? That could be your favorite event or tradition on campus, a fun fact about your school, or just something you didn't have time to present on that you'd like to cover. So we'll go in that same order, starting with East London.
Hey guys, yeah, so one of my favorite things about University of East London is at Christmas. So Christmas is pretty magical in London anyway. So if you go down Oxford Street, that's like the big shopping street in London. They've got all the lights up and the Christmas trees and stuff. But on campus, we have a winter wonderland, which is really cool. So it's a bit like how you imagine like maybe like a European market might look. There's log cabins, you can get mulled wine. There's like theme park rides, and hopefully it snows is the dream. Might get a little bit of snow as well, but it's really nice, really cozy, really Christmassy, and it's just a great atmosphere of all the students on campus, and everyone just seems to love it. So that's one of my favorite times of the year on campus, or like an event on campus that I really enjoy.
Great, thank you. Macquarie?
Yes, well, I think in Sydney in general, one of the times that I enjoy the most is New Year's Eve. In particular, well, the whole festivity and Christmas season, it's a very warm time of the year in Australia. So it's absolutely different. Everything is sand, forget about the snow. So you will be like having drinks with your friends by the beach, and it's absolutely different indeed. And also, Vivid Sydney is one of the amazing festivals during winter, but you will see a complete festival of music, colors, gastronomical festival, concerts, and in particular on campus, my favorite moment is Conception Day, and it's also a great big festival and concert that we have for the celebration of the birthday of the university.
For the sake of our US students who may not know, how are the seasons and academic calendars different in Australia? I'm asking you, how are the seasons?
Pardon.
different?
Oh, sorry. Well, it's completely opposite. And I totally understand you being Mexican. It's absolutely different. So for example, between November and December tends to be the summer, the hottest days in Australia. And August, July can be a bit chill. Temperatures really don't go down than 40. So it's not that cold as in certain parts of the US. And summer could get maximum around, I don't know, 40 degrees or like 30 something Celsius. So yeah, it's very different to the Northern Hemisphere.
Great, thank you. ESCP?
Yeah, thank you. Well, I'm going to go with something a bit different than Tom and I don't remember the name, sorry, because it's I see Leanne, but never mind. So one of our campuses is in Berlin, and Berlin is actually a really great place where you can have if you're interested in entrepreneurship, a lot of startups are there, and that it's a really, really great way of kickstarting your career and your project if you're interested in that. And in fact, a group of students at ESCP launched the really first sustainable marketplace a few years ago, thanks to the program and what they learned, and also the incubator that we have at ESCP, and also this, startup atmosphere at Berlin. So it's really something we are super proud of, and it shows that there is a lot of things that you can do if you're interested, in being your own boss and setting up your own project. Berlin is a really great place to do so, and that's where most of our students finish their program as well.
Thank you. Roehampton?
Yeah, I'll have to go with my favorite activity on campus, just because that's the kind of thing that you're looking forward to. I feel like when you don't, some of the things you don't know about until you're on campus anyway. But like I said, we have the 4 historic colleges, and they actually do play each other in a college cup every year, just like as in Harry Potter. So they will play Quidditch, they will play lots of fun activities against the different houses, just like the film, which is really fun. But we also put on a summer fair and summer concerts and a summer ball as well. So lots of activity going on just as the semester wraps up.
Great, thank you. So next question would be, what's one piece of advice you have for someone going through the college search process, and if you want, maybe specifically going through the college search process of looking at schools outside the US? And back in that same order, so back to East London.
Hi guys, one of my biggest bits of advice would be just to own your own journey. Don't sort of follow your friends. It can be so easy. It's a big process and it's hard. You're going away from home and you go somewhere new and you're worried you're not going to make friends and things. But everyone's going to be in the same situation as you. Don't get in a situation where you're following somebody else to a college or a university, because you're going to make your own choices and you're going to have a long life and you're going to do all sorts and make new friends and stuff. So you're just going to make sure that you make your own choice and that's the right choice for you, because when you get to university, everyone's in the same situation. You're going to make loads of friends, like we've all said here, you're going to be in halls, you're going to meet people on different courses and you're going to have a great time. What was your other question, sorry, Christopher, you were saying about?
No, I think you kind of handled both.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, I thought you said there was 2 questions. Sounds good to me, guys.
Macquarie?
Yeah, well, I was just like you in a moment of decisions a few years ago, and I will tell you that take the most advantage of this time. Although we are living in unprecedented times, this is a time for you to try it all different, prepare for the future, and well, definitely don't be scared to what people say, like travel to the other part of the world. Indeed, when you take the flight to Australia, it doesn't feel like you cross the whole world. And it would be an amazing experience. Australia is just very close to Asia, so you will have so much to learn about the cultures and about the activities. And well, this is the time for you. And actually, the application process is not that hard as it can be. It's really flexible, really easy, and we are being more flexible than ever because we understand your circumstances at the moment.
Great, thank you. ESCP.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I think it's never too early to start looking into your options. So I really recommend to look what's out there and check, yeah, something a bit further away, maybe in countries that you haven't thought of initially. But once you have an idea more or less of an institution that you are interested in, or a program that you are interested in, then I recommend to talk to the admissions team or the recruiters, and also to the students. They are the best people to tell you what it really is about, especially the students, because they've lived it themselves. And the admissions or recruiters, they can give you more details on what you will learn on the program, what experiences you can take out of it. So ask as many questions as you can, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Roehampton?
Yeah, and I'd kind of build off of what Sarah said, and I'd say absolutely use us as your resources. So we're all representatives of our universities, and we know a lot about the school in general. But I'd say for me personally, also, I did live in Roehampton's backyard for many, many years. So I'd say all questions are like, none are too big or too small. So I'd say use us as a resource if you need help with applications, if you want to know what it's like to live in another country, if you want to know what, even if like it's something as small as like what the food is like, what the transportation is like, we're here to answer and help you with your whole sort of application journey. So I'd say use us as the resource before and while you're making your application.
Not to put everybody on the spot, but who here either studied in another country or worked in another country for a period of time? Yeah, so I think you've got good resources to reach out to people who can tell you what that process was like. Let's see, I think another question that might be worthwhile is, I saw that one student asked, can you still apply if you did not take the SAT or ACT or do not have any AP classes? I know you all answered that in the Q&A, but I think, that's at the top of students' mind. So we can go around and you can quickly kind of address where your school is at with test scores. So back to East London.
Hi guys, yeah, so I put that slide up earlier that said that we took those qualifications because that's generally the qualifications that people tend to take in the US, but we do take all of the other qualifications. So the best way to do is just get in touch with me, and I can look, we've got a massive sheet of like different qualifications like all over the US and all over the world. So just get in touch if you've got any queries about anything. I know people have a lot of concerns this year with COVID, and I know, yeah, obviously our university, we've taken that into account. So if you've not been able to take your exams for whatever reason and you've not made the qualifications that you were expecting, again, we're expecting that and we're not going to penalize anyone for that. So just get in touch with us, and we've got systems in place and we can look into that for you and like take it on a case-by-case situation for each student. But if it's something that you're passionate about and you want to apply, get in touch and we can always try and find a solution for you. So yeah, that'd be my advice. Yeah, if you're interested, definitely get in touch and we can definitely see what we can do.
Thank you. Macquarie?
Yeah, as I said, Macquarie is taking a very flexible approach on this. So at this moment, you can apply with your transcripts mainly and copy of your passport. At the moment, the tests are currently optional. There might be some higher requirements for certain programs. So my advice will be get in touch with Leanne. So although I'm not Leanne, but I have left her email there. She's the director for North America, based in Los Angeles.
Thank you. ESCP?
Yeah, so we understand the situation, obviously, and In the supporting documents that we require for the application, we ask for transcripts, and at the moment we are basing, so assessing based on transcripts, so tests are optional as well, and same for APs. It's not a requirement at ESCP to have them. If you do, that's great, and that's definitely make you stand out, but it's not compulsory, so yeah, don't worry. And same applies to if you don't have like extracurricular activities done in the last years, because we understand that it was difficult to do things outside of your houses. And although this is an important part to put in your CV and personal statement, but we understand the situation. So no worries.
Okay, thank you. Roehampton?
Yeah, very similar for us too. We actually were test optional. We've been test optional for a couple of years now. So before the pandemic, which we were kind of proud to be leading the way a little bit. But yeah, so if you have tests, you can submit them, like some of my colleagues here have said, but we don't require them at all. We only have a couple of subjects that currently ask for either the SAT subject test or an AP exam. But like I said in my presentation, we're reviewing all of that right now because the subject test being discontinued this year. And then just looking at how widely available APs are, because we know that not every student necessarily has access to AP exams. So we'll be very flexible. We're taking a much more holistic approach with reviewing applications at the moment.
All right, thank you. And thank you again to all of our panelists for spending this time with us. Attendees, I'm sure you have more questions, so reach out to the panelists, reach out to the schools, ask your questions. I think probably I'll speak for all of you. One of your favorite parts of the job are speaking to excited students who are thinking about going to your school. So take advantage of that and reach out and get more information. We're going to conclude this session. Just a quick note, panelists, if you're answering any more Q&As, the Q&A feature, I'll leave the session open for a couple more minutes after I close it to get in any final answers you may have. But thank you again to everybody. Certainly thank you to all of our attendees for joining us. Before we do end this session, just a few quick last minute housekeeping items. First is that when you close this window, you will receive a very quick 4-question survey that we ask that you complete. And again, there are 2 other blocks of sessions this evening. So if you haven't signed up for those yet, please do so. And about 1 week from today, a recording of this session will be available on that same registration website. But thank you again to everybody and to all the students out there. Good luck and enjoy the college search process. Have a great night.
Thanks, everyone.